Oh, it is. It is another episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reason Sports Network. And if it looks like at a nightclub, I kind of am. I'm inside the Hard Rock Live here in Hollywood. So we are on location from the Seminole Hard Rock. I'm going to be covering the PFL MMA weigh-ins today, or not the weigh-ins, actually the press conference. The weigh-ins are tomorrow. There's a big fight coming up on Friday here at the Hard Rock Live. I'm going to even see, and I know I'm going to totally throw off my camera angles and stuff, if I can get you guys a view of the smart cage down there. Let me know, Sean Stanley, can you actually see that, the PFL smart cage? Do I have the camera angle even reasonably correct?
You were close.
I was close. Oh, man, I'm going to try not to break too much stuff in here. So this is going to be a lot of fun, guys. We're going to talk Dolphins. We're going to talk Canes today. We're going to be talking Canes with Danny Jaillet from 5 Reason Sports, and the Sixth Ring is going to join me at around 12:10 to talk a little Miami Hurricanes. We'll talk about this Fugazi alliance that has been formed between the ACC, the Pac-12, and the Big Ten. You know, they're doing whatever they can to try and combat what the SEC is doing by adding like every meaningful team around the country. But guys, I want to remind you, every episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reason Sports Network is brought to you by our betting partner, our official sports book, BetUS. Guys, life is back on, and BetUS has your NBA, NHL, UFC, PGA, and yes, NFL betting lines up for their 27th year and live betting on all of it. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. And if you sign up with our code, for those watching on YouTube, you can see it on the screen. For those listening back, I'll spell it out for you. If you deposit with our code 5RSN125, 5RSN125, you get a 125% sign up bonus. It is too good. It is great. It is not too good to be true. It is real. I've done it myself and it works. Customer service pros are ready to get your phone, social, and online sports betting kickoff started now. Play with the proven mainstay in the industry, BetUS. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com. We are also brought to you by the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. I had lunch out at the Quarterdeck on Monday, and it was so amazing, my friends. I had the French dip sandwich with the au jus dipping sauce. I love the buffalo shrimp. I love the fresh seafood at the Quarterdeck. The ribs are meat falls off the bone. The baby back ribs are so good. Guys, at the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill, they have 2-for-1 happy hour all day, every day. It literally never ends. The cocktails will cure your ails. And they have every UFC pay-per-view fight for zero cover charge. You pay nothing at the door to watch a UFC pay-per-view at the Quarterdeck. So if you want to find the location nearest to you or peep their menu before you go, visit them on the web at quarterdeckrestaurants.com. The Quarterdeck, come for the food, stay for the fun. So the Miami Dolphins are inching closer to the third and final preseason game. Now, I mentioned, and I'm going to double down and triple down on this, I don't want to see Tua. I don't want to see Jalen Waddle. I don't want to see the majority of the starters playing in the third preseason game because I thought that Tua, like George Costanza, left his meeting on a high note in the second preseason game. A masterful performance, execution, very efficient, was a perfect 8 for 8 in the first quarter. No interceptions thrown, playing a half of football this past Saturday against Atlanta. I have seen enough from Tua. I don't risk injury for any of my important players moving on. But I'm starting to fantasize, guys, about what this Miami Dolphins offense and what this Dolphins receiving core is going to be looking like when the regular season starts, because a lot of those wide receivers, the William Fullers, I'm going to call him William because every time the Dolphins tweet about this guy and talk about this guy, they call him by his full name, his Christian name, William Fuller V. So I'm going to give him that respect. I'm going to call him William Fuller. He's healthy. Now, he's not going to play week 1 because he's suspended. So New England catches a break with that one. But he's going to be good healthy-wise to start the season. Devontae Parker is going to be good. Jalen Waddle gave us a health scare on the field on Saturday, but he's okay, and he and Tua have a great connection. Albert Wilson has had an awesome connection with Tua. So I'm looking at this tweet from our guy, Juan Cardona. And eventually we're going to start bringing Juan on the show. This guy's like out at Dolphins practice every freaking day, unable to join us. I've invited him like 10 times. But Juan writes in, I'm just here trying to imagine the offense like it was on Saturday night, but instead of Mac Hollins, you've got DVP. And by the way, I like both of those guys. I love Mac Hollins as well, so he's not chopped liver. But instead of Mac Hollins, you've got DVP. And instead of Grant, Will Fuller is in. William Fuller, excuse me. It feels too good to be true, he said. Like, we really revamped our wide receiver group in one offseason the way the Kansas City Chiefs did to their offensive line. Insane. And he's 1,000% right on both of those counts. You know, the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs, despite losing in the Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, are favored, not Tampa Bay, even though Tampa Bay kept all of their starters, why Kansas City, not Tampa Bay, is favored to win the Super Bowl this year is clearly their weakness, their Achilles heel was their inability to protect Patrick Mahomes going up against an elite defensive front. They have addressed that issue. They have fixed it on paper. Unless they get ravaged by injury, there is really no reason why the Kansas City Chiefs shouldn't be winning the Super Bowl this coming year. I want to flash another tweet, and this is something in about 3-4 minutes we're going to be talking with Danny Jaillet about. But so we had the announcement, and nobody is quite sure exactly what it means, about an alliance between the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12. So put up, Sean, this poll that our guys, the hardworking crew at the Sixth Ring, put out there on Twitter. And you actually voted on it this time, so we can see the immediate results. But they say with the ACC, the Big Ten, and Pac-12 alliance now announced, what school would you like to see the Canes play the most out of Ohio State, USC, Oregon, and Penn State? And so far, Ohio State is the leader in the clubhouse at 42% of the vote. 275 have voted so far. Sean, I don't know how you feel about this, but I actually voted for USC, not Ohio State. And I'm not surprised Ohio State is in the lead because that's the much better team right now. And, you know, they're the ones who have been competing for national championships recently. USC has not been doing that. But at the same time, Miami has played Ohio State a couple times within the last decade. Like, when do I ever get to see Miami play against the Trojans? And there are some parallels between those programs, man. I mean, USC, they were dominating, you know, the mid 2000 decade the same way that Miami was dominating the early 2000 decade. They're both private schools who have found a lot of success and a lot of fanfare in college football. So actually my answer there that I voted on was USC. But out of those four, Sean, who would you be most excited for Miami to play against on like a semi-regular basis when these conferences align?
Ohio State.
Of course, boring answer from Sean.
See where you rank. You're playing off of the past. Was playing USC. USC is not USC now.
Miami's not Miami.
Exactly. You're playing off the past. I want to see where we're at right now. Play Ohio State each year. We'll see where we're at.
Oh, my God. All right. Real quick, I wanted to bring up something else because I teased this a little bit on Twitter as to why I'm really annoyed with some Miami Dolphins fans. And I am a Miami Dolphin fan. So when I read what I read last night, I was kind of embarrassed. Okay. So Adam, actually, this was this morning, I guess, not even last night. Adam Schefter tweeted out this morning he says a career highlight for @Field Yates and me. So they were given a strongly worded letter by Miami Dolphins fans, and these have to be the dumbest Dolphin fans alive. I hope that it's just a couple of idiots and not like half the fan base. So they write, Mr. Adam Schefter, Mr. Field Yates, they address it. Hello, gentlemen. I have been a fan of both of your works on the various shows on the ESPN platforms. You both do great work, and I appreciate it. Now, for informational purposes, this fan writes, I am a retired TV/radio announcer, a commercial voice, and a voiceover artist. So he made sure he listed his credentials there. That just makes you look like even more of a dumbass. Thank you for doing that. He writes, so I know how to pronounce the words. The problem is, and then in all caps, you don't. He says you regularly and routinely fuck up the name of the Miami Dolphins quarterback. His name is Tua Tagovailoa, the guy writes, and then he spells it out phonetically. Tua Tagovailoa. Yet, he continues, you two assholes regularly and continuously mispronounce it. When you say Tua Tagovailoa, there's no tango in his name, the man writes, and tell that asshole Greeny as well. He's not worth a letter. Now, that part of the letter I love. Tell him he's not worth the letter. Continued success, and then I don't know what this dude's name is because all there is his signature. There's no way I can decipher. He must be a doctor. But here's
I
the
looked
problem.
at it. It said Alex Donno.
No, see, I would never do that because, Sean, I am a scholar of Pacific Island pronunciations. I would never make that mistake. The dumbass who wrote the letter, he's calling Schefter and Yates assholes. You're the asshole. You're the one who got it wrong. It is tango or tango. Even though there's not an N in the word, you pronounce it like an N. I have seen videos of Tua himself pronouncing his name to show people how it's done. It's Tango Valoa. The person who wrote the letter is dead wrong. This idiot calls himself a Dolphin fan. The idiot who wrote the letter calls himself a Dolphin fan. You realize Tua Tango Valoa has been your quarterback. If you go back to the time he was drafted, he's been your quarterback for 16 months. How have you, sir, not learned how to pronounce his name? Schefter and Yates are not the problem. You are the problem. So I found that to be hilarious. This idiot went through all the trouble to write a letter, and Schefter gives him his 15 minutes of fame for actually publishing it or sharing it on social media. But the guy who wrote the letter is wrong, not Sheffy. So that's why I'm disappointed in Dolphin fans today. This guy has been your quarterback for 16 months. I can understand making this mistake on draft day. I can understand, making this mistake before Tua's first OTA, or well, actually, you didn't have OTAs in minicamp last year. Right before Tua's first season, I could understand making that mistake. But man, no, to make that mistake after he's been your quarterback for 16 months is inexcusable. Brooklyn Rob says Alex is not streaming from a bunker today. No, I'm at the beautiful Hard Rock Live here in Hollywood, Florida. It looks like I'm surrounded by stars here. And I tried to give Sean and everybody the look at the PFL cage, which is to the other side of me, but I think I failed miserably with my camera angle. But let's go out to the guest line and bring in a guy I've been wanting to bring on for a long time, long overdue, but better late than never. Danny Jaillet joins us from our Miami Hurricanes coverage and from the Sixth Ring. Danny, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
How are we doing? I'm not exactly in the beautiful Hollywood, Florida studios, but this will do.
Where are you located, man? Are you South Floridian or are you from somewhere else?
I am in Massachusetts, actually. So all of this Miami Dolphins and Miami sports perspective is very interesting to me.
No, totally. But I want to start Canes with you, Danny, and I want to start with the idea of this, and it's been announced, although I'm not really sure what it means, this alliance between the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12. Like, do we have any clarity? Like, does that mean these teams are going to play a ton of games against one another? Is this more of a marketing partnership? What are you expecting to come out of this alliance?
I'm expecting some games to come out of this alliance. So far, I've only heard alliance and not much else. It's kind of interesting. It's been a little bit of a, not a secret, but it's just been like, oh, we're forming an alliance. And honestly, college football is such the wild, wild west these days between the transfer portal and all these conferences forming and the SEC doing whatever they're doing. It's never a dull moment in the day of college football. It's never a dull moment covering college football. And I'm going to be really interested to see some of these classic matchups like you and Sean were talking about a little bit earlier. I would love to see, some really, really fun, formerly cross-conference matchups that we may not have gotten otherwise.
Well, and Danny, I'll let you answer the question that Sean and I answered, right? And this goes back to the poll from the Sixth Ring on Twitter. With the alliance coming, what school would you like to see the Canes play the most? Ohio State, USC, Oregon, or Penn State? I answered USC. Sean went with the easy, lazy answer of Ohio State. Who would you like to see Miami play most out of that list?
I'm going to go with the easy, lazy answer as well, Ohio State. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think there is obviously some history between the two programs, and Ohio State has been, in the upper echelon of college football for the past couple years now. Miami is itching to get back to the upper echelon as well, so if they want to be the best, they have to beat one of the best. And I'd love to see an Ohio State matchup just to see, where Miami stands and, can Miami beat Ohio State or at least play well. And then we could kind of use that as a measuring stick to judge where the program is really at. No more easy, soft, early season games. Bring me Ohio State early. I want to see where Miami's at.
Well, speaking of measuring sticks, we have one of those coming up in a couple weeks. September 4th, Miami taking on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Now, it's easy for me to do this after I've only had a full off season to go over all the positives and not dwell in the negatives. But I'm starting to talk myself into at least the possibility that Miami can win this game. And the biggest factor to me, Danny, well, I guess the two biggest factors would be, De'Ara King doing really well with his recovery. We're going to get a much better idea, the first quarter, if because physically he should be fine, but is he all there mentally coming off a tough injury? We're going to find that out. But then the second factor would be, if you're going to play Alabama this coming season and they are, number one in the country, most talented team in the country, you're getting them at the right time because they're breaking in a lot of new starters, especially on the offensive side of the football. So get them before they've completely figured it out, I would say. So week one is the time to do it. Miami's about an 18.5-point underdog. I think they can keep it closer than that. So what's your expectation for this game? How can Miami pull this off?
Miami can pull this off by protecting De'Ara King. First of all, I think, the Alabama defense is still very solid, and I feel like one of the biggest strengths for Miami this season that may play into the opener against Alabama here is their depth at wide receiver. Mike Harley, Charleston Rambo, Xavier Restrepo. There's so much depth at the position this year, and I'm really interested to see, how Miami does, because this is going to be a highly televised matchup, one of the biggest games to open the season. And like you kind of alluded to, once the Alabama train starts rolling, it's very, very hard to stop. So, we got to, kind of catch Alabama right now while they're still trying to figure things out, because once they figure things out, it's bad news for the rest of the college football landscape.
Who are you expecting to win the national title this year? Like, is Alabama your favorite? I mean, Clemson, obviously, they're also replacing a generational quarterback. We did get a little bit of a look at DJ Uyunglele last year. A lot of people rate Oklahoma very highly. Who do you think is your favorite to win the national title?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I'd say Clemson, because they are returning a ton of talent, and DJ played a little bit last year. Yes, they do not have Trevor Lawrence, but at the end of the day, I think Clemson, this is going to be a good year for them to try to dethrone Alabama. On that same token, Alabama could figure it out. This is a Nick Saban-led team. We've seen it tons of times before, and they could, make some noise in the college football playoff if they really get rolling. So yeah, I'm hoping it's not Alabama for the sake of parity, because the whole point of the college football playoff was to add parity, and it feels like I've seen the same four teams every year. But anyway, I hope it's Clemson, but if they get rolling, I could see Alabama taking it once again.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Something circling back to Miami, we got the news, I think, over the weekend that the charges were dropped against Devontae Williams, who had been, not only dismissed from the team, but I think dismissed from the university as well. But now that those charges have been dropped, his lawyer has been hard at work. What's your prediction? Do you think he will get reinstated this season, or do you think that it's not in the cards for him?
I think it's going to be not a tough legal battle, but a legal battle where it's going to take some time. So I could maybe see him coming back towards the middle portion of the season. But I feel like Miami is also deep enough at safety for right now and in the future with the job that they've done recruiting, to where they can kind of, work on the off the field stuff and be comfortable about where they are at the position on the field. So I could see him maybe coming back in the later part of the year. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. We'll have to see how this plays out, but I don't think we see him at the beginning of this year, maybe at the end of this year. And who knows if he comes back at the end of this year, able to come back at the end of this year. depending on where Miami is, that could be key.
Sorry about that. They're doing some they're doing some sound checks here, so I hope it's not too distracting.
All good.
No, and so I wanted to ask you a bigger picture ACC question. Okay, if you could have one of these quarterbacks to win one game this coming season, would you take Sam Howell? Would you take DJ Uiagalelei, or would you take De'Ara King?
That's a tough one. My gut says De'Ara King, depending on, for me, it's never a simple question. I need to know who the offensive coordinator is, what the scheme is.
Well, how about this? Well, that might. I was gonna say if it's Miami's scheme, that might make it too easy. Let's say it's Clemson, so you have that talent around you, right? Because that would be the best talent out of the three teams. Let's say it's to run Clemson's offense for one game.
I'd say King, because to be honest with you, Sam Howell is good, but I need to see one more good year out of him, and I've seen enough of King to where if he has Clemson level talent around him with his ability to run outside the pocket and his arm strength, I would trust him to, bring me the victory, because I truly think when he's on top of his game, he is very hard to stop. We saw that, I believe it was against North Carolina State back in November, and he was on his game. He had a great afternoon, and I think I would take him. Although that's a tough question. I'd be happy with either of the three.
Totally. We're joined here by Danny Jaillet from our Hurricanes coverage on 5 Reasons Sports and from the Sixth Ring. What's your prediction win-loss this year? The over-under, I think they nailed it. Vegas is obviously very good at this stuff. I think 9 as an over-under is pretty good. I'm a bit of a homer, so I lean to the over. I think they can win 10 games, but it's not going to be easy. So I think 9 was a good choice there. How many games do you think Miami wins this year?
I think 9. I think they have enough talent to really kind of get past the 6 needed for the bowl game, obviously, and win a couple extra at the end. To me, it's going to be all about cohesiveness from the get-go. We saw last year, and this, how, the offensive line would struggle, but the wide receivers would play well. Then the wide receivers had trouble at the beginning of the year, and then they turn it on, in the middle part of the season. So Miami needs to be firing on all cylinders right away. We can't have a situation where one positional group, plays well and then another falters, or vice versa. If Miami can play, with everybody firing on all cylinders, I could see 9 wins, and that would certainly be great for the program, both nationally and within the conference.
Now, you mentioned Danny being up in Massachusetts. Are you a Patriots fan?
I am. Yes.
Okay, so what are your expectations for the Pats this year? And we have a date, you and I, week 1, because we got Dolphins, Patriots. So what are you expecting, man? And I'll ask you this as a follow-up.
Okay.
At what point do you think it happens this season Mac Jones takes over for Cam Newton? Do you think he's going to get starting reps at some point?
I'm going to say very soon to answer the second part of your question, because Cam Newton is already kind of in hot water with COVID protocol, and I was just reading something today where Mac Jones went 60-22 against the Giants today with a touchdown. So I think the race for the quarterback is already close. I think Mac will, depending on how Cam Newton plays, I think we could probably see Mac by week 4, I'd say. I think he's performed really well this preseason, and, you don't sit the, 15th overall pick on the bench for, nothing. You play him. And, the Patriots, they went out and got a bunch of additions on the offensive side of the football, and it's time to put them to use. Hopefully Cam can, for his sake, kind of get everything back in order. But I would expect to see Mac soon. And then as far as the Dolphins go, that's going to be a good game. The last time these two teams played, it was a good game. And, it's always fun because I love the perspective from you guys down in South Florida. Just reading all of your Dolphin stuff and things like that. I have high hopes for the Miami Dolphins this year. I think they can play well. And I think if Tua, settles in and plays well, then Miami definitely has a shot to make some noise in the division. It's so interesting to me to see, the division that Tua creates. Some fans love him, some fans hate him, some fans want to see him fail, some fans want to see him do well. So, it's going to be really interesting. This is going to be a fun division, and I think Buffalo is going to give us both a run for our money.
Oh, no doubt about that. I appreciate your time, sir. Everyone, make sure to check out his work, 5reasonsports.com and on the Sixth Ring. Danny, are you guys doing an episode tomorrow? When can people see you again?
We want to do an episode before the Alabama game, but we will let you guys know. We're kind of, as the season gets closer and we have a lot of football jobs, all of us, we're really busy now. So we're going to let you guys know, but you will see us soon.
Well, good work, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend coming up.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for having me.
Love it. Awesome stuff there from Danny Jaillet. I want to say hello to people who have been chiming in on the live chat. Big Dan. Hello, Big Dan. He says, I would love to see a home and home with USC. Let's go, Canes. I'm telling you, man, like I know Ohio State is near the top of college football. They've been at or near the top of college football for the last decade. I've had a home and home with Ohio State over the last 10 years. USC, there's just something I think would be exciting with this ACC, Pac-12, Big Ten alliance, the opportunity to have a home and home with USC. That would be a ton of fun, man. And I'm not sleeping on Oregon either. I saw Michael Toff wrote in the comments that it's Oregon for me. Yeah, I mean, Oregon, obviously, they don't have like the overall football prestige that USC has, but playing there on the road is interesting because their facilities are out of this world. Oregon, they're always fun to watch, even though obviously it's no longer the Chip Kelly days there, and they have 1,000 different uniform combinations. So Oregon would be fun to play as well. I'm not sleeping on them, but no, I think that USC would be my preferred option out of those. Jesse Lockhart says, haven't heard of a college football alliance since the early 1990s. Desperate times call for desperate measures, man. People are looking for answers now with the name, image, and likeness challenges that come in for universities, with the SEC snatching up all the talent, because I am scared to death of what the SEC is putting together. If you're not part of it, they're going to steamroll you. So I guess that's why these three conferences feel the need to try and align. I love how we've got rumors brewing in the live chat that the reason why I have this star-studded background behind me and I'm no longer broadcasting from the home bunker. David says he told Brooklyn Rob that I got a promotion, and then Brooklyn Rob says, good for Alex, he deserves it. I don't know if this is just a promotion. This is just a temporary change of scenery. I'm going to be back in the bunker tomorrow, Brooklyn Rob, so don't even worry about it, man. I want to continue our daily feature here on Donno Daily of allowing you guys to bet along with me. Hashtag bet along. This is not financial advice. I just want you guys to have fun. So I give you my sports bets every day, and I encourage you to sign up for betus.com if you haven't already. BetUS is the official sports book of Donno Daily. You log on to betus.com, you create your account. If you use our code 5RSN125 when you make your deposit, they'll give you a 125% sign up bonus. It's that easy. When I made a deposit a few weeks ago for $150, magically in my account, because I use my code 5RSN125, magically $187.50 of additional free play money magically appeared in my account. It is a beauty. Sign up today. You have some time. And Sean, I've got to bring you on so I can rub it in my face for taking the L. Now, I gave out 2 picks on Monday, 2 picks on Tuesday. Monday's picks, 2-0. We were swimming in cash. 2-0 for Monday's picks. But then the gambling gods giveth, and then they taketh away. We were robbed yesterday, man. 1-1 yesterday. Here were the 0-2 yesterday. Here were the 2 problems we ran into yesterday. We should have been 1-1. Putting faith in a local team, we mushed them. We mushed the Miami Marlins. Now, I know they've now lost 8 in a row, but I really thought yesterday was the day they would snap out of it and beat the Nationals, and they lost. I think 5-1 was the final. Very depressing. I will never bet on the Marlins ever again. But then the other game, we got robbed. Champions League qualifying yesterday. PSV Eindhoven, we had them at even money against Benfica. And PSV, despite having like a 3-to-1 ratio in scoring chances and being up a man for more than a half, Benfica had a red card in the first half. PSV were up a man for more than a half, and those chokers, those losers, couldn't cash in and score. So we were done wrong. It was a course correction by the gambling gods. We're going to be back in the winning today. Here are the two picks we're going to go with today. I'm going to give you guys, and these are afternoon, so giddy up. We only have to wait a couple of hours to get into these. Got a 2-game parlay in English Carabao Cup today. We have Southampton over Newport City, and parlay that with Arsenal over West Brom. You're going to get better than even odds on that. So a 2-game parlay. Those games are at 2:45 and 3 p.m. today. So make sure you don't sleep on those and wait till the evening because they're going to be over. 2:45 and 3 p.m. today. A 2-team parlay on Southampton and Arsenal to both win. 2-team parlay, better than even money. And then Major League Baseball today, we're staying away from the choking Miami Marlins, okay? 2:20 p.m. I've done really well the last several weeks since they traded their entire team away. I've done really well betting against the Chicago Cubbies. So we're going to go Colorado Rockies minus 140 against the Chicago Cubs. So that's a straight bet, money line bet, Colorado Rockies minus 140. And then earlier than that, we have actually later than that, the 2 games start, but we have a 2-team parlay, Southampton over Newport City and Arsenal over West Brom. So Southampton and Arsenal in a 2-team parlay. And we're going to be like Uncle Scrooge. We're going to be swimming in a giant vat of money tomorrow. Brooklyn Rob writes in, I love this dude. Don't bet with Alex. He blew it by not betting Italy. At least he will get a steak as a consolation. Yeah, we've got to set that up. Brooklyn Rob promised me if he won his futures bet on the Azzurri in the Euros, he did promise me a steak dinner. We're going to have to arrange that. But yeah, he was brave. He bet Italy like plus 750, I think, before the tournament started. I bet Italy on a bunch of individual games and won money. And Andrew Green, thank you for the super chat, sir. God bless you. So I did win a lot of individual bets on Italy during the Euros, but I didn't make the big futures bet like Brooklyn Rob did. So maybe we should all be betting along with Brooklyn Rob. Maybe we should do that. I'm going to start every day. Rob, if you're up for it, I'm going to start getting Brooklyn Rob's picks, and we can bet those together at betus.com. Big Dan writes in, Donno, we need a second hour local midday show here. So, you know, we're even going to be a little bit short today because I'm covering this PFL press conference. We're going to be back to the full hour and a little bonus, I even think, tomorrow. By the way, I'm not done here on 5 Reasons YouTube today. I will be back tonight. We're going to have our 5 rounds MMA stream tonight from 6 to 7:30. Me, Frank Zaffrey, and James Walker. And you want to be tuning into that tonight, my friends, because we will be giving away to a lucky commenter on the live chat tonight in the 6 p.m. hour. So you want to watch tonight. You want to watch 5 rounds tonight because we're going to be giving away a $20 gift card to the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. The Quarterdeck, one of our great sponsors here on Donno Daily, also the amazing title sponsor of the 5 round show, which we're going to have tonight. We're going to be previewing the UFC and PFL events coming up this weekend. So make sure you guys are watching. I will be back on the 5 Reasons stream tonight at 6 p.m. So it's been a fun one today, my friends. The moral of the story is, as the title of the show would indicate, I am very optimistic about both the Miami Dolphins and Miami Hurricanes. I'm going to miss my guy, Lynn Bowden, who was cut. Cuts were coming in that wide receiving core. The Dolphins have so much quality depth there. They've got a few guys who need to stay healthy, but there's a lot of quality depth in the receiving core. I was certainly not expecting Lynn Bowden to make the final roster. The guys that I expect to make it, the untouchables, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, William Fuller, he's going to make the team. Albert Wilson is going to make the team. Mac Hollins is going to make the team. That's 5 right there. I think they're going to sneak in a 6th, especially for the first week because Fuller is going to be on the suspension list. so he's not even going to count for a roster spot the first week. I think Jakeem Grant is going to be the 6th guy who makes it at wide receiver this year, and then you're going to have tough decisions like the one you already made with Lynn Bowden. I think you're going to have to make a tough decision with Preston Williams as well. You're going to be able to hide a couple of these guys on the practice squad and protect them. Now, I don't think you can use all 4 of those protection spots on wide receivers, but you're going to be able to get creative with that. And yeah, like Ninja Viking wrote in, these guys will find homes though. Absolutely. Like don't feel too bad for some of these receivers who get cut. Their careers are not going to be over. Like they're not going to be becoming high school substitute teachers or anything like that and trying to get into football coaching. They're going to land on other NFL rosters because the Miami Dolphins have a blessing of depth at wide receiver that few other teams even come close to. So these guys are going to find new homes. In fact, there's probably a couple of guys on the chopping block that would be better off cut. Think about it that way. For like a guy like Preston Williams, he may be better off cut getting claimed or brought in by another team than being the 6th option with the Miami Dolphins. He might get more playing time somewhere else. So optimism, my friends, as you see in the title, optimism is the way we go. The Miami Dolphins have a wealth of weapons. The Miami Hurricanes are going to upset Bama week 1. You heard it here first. I even tried to talk Danny Jaillet into it. So, yeah, it's going to be good. Malcolm Perry makes the practice squad if he's not poached. Brooklyn Rob says, yeah, I think that's a guy you need to protect at all costs. But if he's not one of the 6 or 7 wide receivers that make the roster for the first week, he could be your 4th running back as he plays running back as well. So I think you can really get creative in finding a way to keep Malcolm Perry. That'll do it for today's show. So much fun today. We'll be back for the full hour tomorrow. I've got to get ready for this PFL press event. So huge thanks to Danny Jaillet for joining us and talking some Miami Hurricanes. Massive thanks to Sean Stanley for working tirelessly on and off the scenes. Now, Sean, Manny is in the woods today, right? He's got the beef jerky in his pocket trying to dodge bears.
Yes, he is.
And we see Sean comes from the familiar grounds with the Don Shula football in the background in the closet. By the way, is there a story behind getting that signed, or did you buy it as is, or did he sign it for you?
No, he signed it for me because I was doing the production for the Miami Dolphins Touchdown Club.
That's awesome.
With, Mad Dog's son.
Oh, nice.
I think it was the name. The one of the younger son was
Nick?
the one that ran it. Nick, yes, Nick ran it, and he got me the football from Coach Shula.
Dude, that is fantastic. That is a great piece of memorabilia. Like I don't have anything signed by Dan Marino or Shula. I do have a couple of replica helmets signed by the likes of Willis McGahee and Randall Thrill-Hill and a couple of other former Canes players. But yeah, I don't have anything to top what Sean has. All right, guys, huge thanks to everyone who stopped in the chat, regular chat, super chat. Andrew Green, you're a gentleman and a scholar. We will talk to you guys again tomorrow. We'll get it kicked off at 12 noon. Same time, same place. We'll go the full hour till 1 o'clock tomorrow. And guys, make sure you're checking out, and I know you are because I'm watching the show and it's buzzing, Ethan Skolnick and sometimes Kai Chen Chisholm hosting Starting 9 every morning, 9 a.m. here on 5 Reasons YouTube. Those guys are hitting it out of the park so far. We will talk to you guys again tomorrow at 12 noon right here on Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Ciao.